Hello, hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Put a one in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Put a one in the comments if you can hear me clearly. And also let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. This is gonna be a very powerful live. I need to send it out. I'm sorry, my nose is itching. I need to send it out. Um, because we're going to talk about feminine energy in a way of how women are burning theirs out. So, a lot of women are wondering why they're not oozing feminine energy. But we need to go to the starting point of how your feminine energy is completely burned out. Because it's very possible to burn out your feminine energy. And I'm going to explain a little bit of that today. Well, not a little bit. I'm going to make it very clear today. So, hey, my love. Let me send this out really quickly. For those who do not know me, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine lifestyle strategist. And what I do is I support my amazing clients in a matter of four ways. The first way that I support my amazing clients is that I support them in mastering their authentic feminine design. Working with me, what you'll learn is that there's no such thing as becoming more feminine. The true tea of it all is that you're becoming more of yourself, and by becoming more of yourself, that's how you start to ooze that feminine energy that you crave so much, right? And so tonight, I'm kind of give you some information on why that may not be happening for you. I'm gonna say exactly what I'm gonna be breaking down. I'm looking at my computer because I needed to make sure it was transferred over to my iPad, and it looks like it is. So we're in the clear. Okay. So today what I'm going to be going over is the first set of signs that you need to know that your feminine energy is completely burned out. And then I'm going to tell you how it happened. And if you are interested in a solution, I'll be talking a little bit more about that. Okay? So make sure that you send this to a queen as I'm sending these out to women who truly, truly, truly want to see some shift and change in their life. And they actually want to start getting that support that comes along with oozing that feminine energy that, a lot of us tend to struggle with. And I'm just going to tell you, like, mastering your authentic feminine design is you becoming more authentically yourself. And as you become more authentically yourself, it becomes very easy for you to just ooze that, okay? And so what you have to understand is that once it's easier for you to ooze that feminine energy, what ends up happening is that you're able to regulate your emotions better. And so once you're able to regulate your emotions better, then it becomes easier for you to do the third thing that I support and teach is teaching my clients how to create seamless income. And when I say seamless income, we're talking about creating money from a space of not hustling, creating money from a space of creativity, using our feminine to be able to receive money and to be able to attract money, and using the left side of the brain, which is the masculine, to be able to create that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as well on today. So I help my clients create seamless income. That's literally what I do. I have built a business, six-figure business from the ground up. I did not hustle to build my six-figure business, and I don't teach women to hustle. I teach women to do business according to their authentic feminine design, because that is the only authentic way that I know that it works, where you are not exhausted and you're still able to ooze feminine energy. Because feminine energy is very important, not just in your life, but also in business as well, which is why I keep certain things around me. I know you guys, well, I don't know if you guys follow me a lot, so you always hear me talk about like how I always keep flowers and different things like that, roses. I don't know if you guys know, but it's the highest vibrational flower. So it's not a coincidence that women just like, oh my God, I just love roses. It literally is the highest vibrational flower. So it literally radiates almost the closest to love. So it's very, very important and very vital. And then also a lot of flowers, and especially roses specifically, when it comes down to colors, they actually signify certain things, okay? So it's just important to know these things so you know what to kind of have around you. So, like I said, I help my clients create seamless income, as well as I support my clients in creating a digital based business model so that they can do their work from anywhere in the entire world. I'm gonna have to move this fan closer to me because it's not gonna work like that. I'll just have it moved. So that is what I do. Tonight I'm going to be talking specifically about, like I said, going from burnout to bloom. A lot of women are really struggling to ooze that feminine energy, and the reason why they're struggling to ooze that feminine energy is because the masculine principle within yourself is the leader. And I'm going to get into that. And because I've been there, the masculine principle within myself at one point was the leader in my life, but it rose up, or he rose up, that aspect of me rose up from feeling like I needed to be defended, feeling like I needed to be protected, feeling like I needed a sense of security because no one was seeing me and no one was really showing up for me in that manner. And so I thought, okay? So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that. Like I said, I'm going to give you the rundown of these actual symptoms so you know, or these signs that you know that you're burnt out, your feminine energy is completely burned out. And then I'm also going to tell you, like I said, how it happened. And it's a process of literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 things that knock you down, and it's 3 things that took place in order for this to happen, for you to get to this space, okay? Before I get into that, the first thing I need you to understand, because we're going to go into something that's going to make you think. This is not just going to be a one-time live. I'm going to do this live, and then there's the other 2 lives are connected to this. So I hate it for the people who missed it. So send it to your friends, girl, because I don't know. But it's going to be very, very vital and important that you really understand to what's going on tonight. But before I get into that, I need you to know your value. I need you to understand that you are time, energy, attention, and money, meaning that you are high-level currency. Meaning when you understand who you are, you don't allow people to treat you any kind of way, okay? Or you don't settle for any kind of life. Hey, my love, you actually do your work, okay? Because you actually want a life that is going to be supportive and a life that you truly, truly desire. So the first aspect of that, in order for you to be able to see externally a valuable life, is to see the value within yourself. So you have to understand that you are first time. And when I say that you are time, I'm saying that you are made up of 2 elements of time. You're made up of Kairos time and you're made up of Chronos time. Hey, my love. Chronos time is the seconds, hours, days, minutes, years that you're going to be here, okay? Kairos time is your ups and your downs, your seasons, your ends and your ebbs and your flows. You will hear people do a lot of talk, especially right now when they speak about things like manifestation. They just like, oh, you just need to feel a certain kind of way and everything's just going to go this way and yada, yada, yada. When in reality, it's not really like that. You're going to have the ebbs and flows in life, and that's for everyone. Hey, my love, when it comes down to business, when it comes down to life, there's going to be ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. And so you have to understand not everything is going to be up, literally like the ocean. One day it's going to be like this, some days it's going to be calm, some days it's going to be chaotic. You just have to know how to ride the wave. And the thing is that you have the tools within you so that you actually can ride the wave, okay? But you first got to understand that you actually are time. The second thing you have to understand is that you are energy. When you begin to realize that you are energy, you begin to stop mismanaging your energy by giving it to people who don't value it, or giving it to people to bypass time. You know, those dates you like to go on just because you want to get out the house and you just want any type of masculine attention or any type of masculine interaction. My love, absolutely not. You are bored. You are trying to bypass time. You don't even like this person. And this is how you go out with somebody who you didn't like, and then you end up liking them and they end up playing you because you were doing it out of boredom and not from trying to attract from the frequency of love. Hey, my love. So you have to understand that you are energy. You have to understand how valuable your energy is. And you have to understand that you are the manager of your energy. So when you understand that you're the manager of your energy, this means that you are taking time to make sure that you are allocating your energy in the places that it needs to go. You are not out here trying to people please. You are not out here trying to, support any and everybody and help everybody with their problems. You are only on your assignment. The huge issue with a lot of women these days is that I don't know why we love to pick up, especially black women right now. We love to pick up extra assignments. We love to pick up extra credit. You are here on your assignment. You're not here to do anyone else's work, okay? If other people can't do their own work, then they can't work together in a group project. And that's what you better understand. Because it's easier to work with someone who does their own homework. So if you're doing your own homework, why would you deal with someone who's not ready to do their inner work at home? And you think y'all gonna get together and create a home? Absolutely not. Okay? Absolutely not. So understand that your energy is priceless. The energy that you have within you is divine. And make sure that you invest it wisely so you don't end up living in regret. People who tend to have no boundaries, people who tend to be people pleasers, people who tend to be like, oh, I have good hearts and I have such a big heart. I don't know why people keep playing with me and doing all these things. They keep doing that because you're a mismanager of your energy. And a lot of people like to use the Most High, or use God as an excuse of why you allow people to abuse you. The Most High does not agree with or put his hand on you being abused. These are choices and decisions that we're making to stay in situations. The Most High don't have anything to do with that. Would not allow you or ask you to stay in situations and circumstances where you're being dishonored and disrespected, because the energy within you is very divine, extremely divine. And when you understand that, you begin to operate as such, and you begin to only invest your energy in spaces where you're going to get a great return. Okay? Stop giving all your energy away. And then when you give all your energy away, you want people to give you something. You give all your years away, and then you want someone to give you a relationship or give you a ring. That's not the way that this works. You make a clear decision and a wise decision when it comes down to how you want to invest your time, your energy, and your attention, which takes me to attention. Attention, you are also that as well, okay? When I say that you are attention, what you have to understand about attention is this. If a person, an entity, media, or anything can get your attention, there's a high chance that they can manipulate your energy. Emotions, by definition, is energy and motion. When you had when you have negative energy and motion floating through your body, it literally, what ends up happening, it starts to attack your organs. So you hear elderly people, or you may hear people say things like, oh, you done made me so mad you ran my blood pressure up. Like, that's really a thing. I don't think people understand, when you invite stress into your existence, when you say yes to things you really should be saying no to, when you allow your gates to just take in any and everything, what ends up happening is that you get manipulated. This is how you end up believing lies of the media. This is how you end up believing these Hollywood stories and going all that old business that they're now telling. You're eating it up for breakfast, and you're allowing that to guard your gates, and you're wondering why you're depressed. You're wondering why you're all over the place. You're wondering why you can't focus. It's all because you keep allowing everything else to manipulate your energy, which is your emotions. When you give the wrong man your attention, guess what? Because you are actually attention, what happens is that the more time you give that man, if he don't really like you, that's the more time he has to manipulate your energy. When you invest in spaces where people don't value you, that gives more time for them to play on your emotions and manipulate you, so you can continue doing what they want you to do. But this is what happens when you don't understand that you are attention. You don't pay attention. And the reason, because you don't pay attention, you aren't aware. And because you aren't aware, you can't take account. And because you can't take account, you lack accountability. So you blame everybody who comes into your life, when in reality, you need to be looking at the mirror, at the reflection, because that's the real one right there, because nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply were not paying attention. It's the equivalent to you listening to a song that's speaking about, oh, we're about to get ready to, go to bed, and you start feeling like that because you're listening to the lyrics of the song. That's literally how it goes. The music is manipulating your energy. That's the way it goes. It manipulates your emotions. The songs that make you start crying when you're having the breakup and all that stuff, those things are further manipulating your emotions. Okay, so I need you to really understand that your attention is high level currency in society. What you give your attention to is going to impact your money. Again, what you give your attention to is going to impact whether or not you make the type of money you want to make, or you don't make the type of money you want to make. Wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy is going. That's where your time is flowing, okay? So when I support my clients, and I didn't talk about my client results. When I support my clients, I support them by shifting their attention to where they need to focus to. This is how my client went from 0 to 15K in 30 days. This is how my client went from 5 figures to 6 figures. This is how my client went from 6 figures to multi 6 figures. And this is also how I built my 6-figure business from off the ground. I shifted my attention on what was important so that I could create money to live a life that secured me in a way that I could be more feminine. The reason why a lot of women feel like they can't be feminine, they can't be themselves, they can't ooze it, is because they feel like they have to work so hard. I'm in my masculine, so it's really hard for me to be in my feminine. No, that's the issue, and I'm going to talk about that today. You too much in your masculine. Because you too much in your masculine, what's happening is, and you're in your masculine due to bad programming, amongst other things. Because you don't really understand and know who you are. You settle for a life that's literally beneath you. Women should not be hustling for money. You have creative and witty inventions in your very being, which brings me to M. You are money as well. Proverbs 8 and 12 tells you you have creative and witty inventions in your very being. This means that there is no such thing as you being broke and saying that you're a believer, because that really is an oxymoron and it makes no sense. That would make the one that created you a liar. That would make the one that created you extremely unstable. And that just does not make any sense considering the foundation of the way this world is created. It makes absolutely no sense because the body is a healing instrument. You get cut, it heals. Like, it makes absolutely no sense for you to be walking around here as one of the Most High's creations and not be being provided for. When you don't have access to resources, or your living is not abundant. And when I say abundant, I'm speaking specifically of like plentifulness, because by definition abundance means plentifulness. Okay, so if you're not experiencing that, if you're not living that life, thank you, my love, if you're not living that and you're not experiencing that, that's because you're not tapped into self, because the kingdom of heaven is within you, according to Luke 17:21. So having the God excuse me, having the God frequency within you and not knowing how to access it and not knowing how to be in alignment with it is the real issue. Because you should not be out here saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and you don't have things, because that just does not make any sense. That would literally make the one that created you a liar. Okay? So understand that when you understand that you are money, you'll stop looking at these corporations to care about you. You'll stop looking at these corporations for support in that type of sense, because these corporations have one goal. They have one goal: to get their mission done. While you are there doing the work with them and for them to get their mission completed, you should be using them like they're using you. But see, a lot of us get caught up because we think we have job security. I done told y'all. I've been telling y'all for a long time now. Job security is no longer a thing. Okay? Job security is no longer a thing. Thank you, my love. It is no longer a thing. There is no such thing as being secure in your job. Just like people try to say, oh, there's no security in entrepreneurship. Ain't no security in your job either. These layoffs are massive and they are here, and I have been warning you guys for a while, and people continuously come on my live and they're telling me, you were right, they fired me today, you were right, they did this, you were right, they laid me off, I'm in corporate. Let me tell y'all something. This is only the first round of layoffs. We're in first quarter of this year. This is only the first round of layoffs. Do you hear what I'm telling you? They're going to be rounds. Buckle up, buttercup. So it's very important for you to be in tune with the one who created this entire space, so you know how to maneuver and operate as this space transitions into the new era that it's going into, because it's definitely going into a new era. And if you are not clear on what is within you, you are not going to know how to operate and how to create. And because you're not going to know how to create, because you're going to lack inspiration, and truthfully, the inspiration comes from you, you're not going to be able to obtain more income for yourself. And that's going to be an issue, because a lot of people are really, really, really nervous about, okay, if I lose my job. Listen, you shouldn't even be nervous about that. You should be so clear on the skill set and the gifts that you have, that if you're no longer there, if they let you go today, that you can go do something else. You have a high level skill set that you can either charge a company or you can go to another company and make more money. That's the space that it has to be on. That's the type of time you got to be on. And then on top of that, if you're working a 9 to 5, you have to have something else going. You got to have a different set of a cushion, which is why I always tell people, you got to understand that you have creative and witty inventions in your very being. To not have is to not be tapped in. Okay? So you are high level currency. So stop worshiping money and understand that you actually can create it for yourself. And then that way, that can be a form of security, not the money itself, but the faith that you have in the one that created you, that gave you the gifts that you know are going to continuously make room for you. That's where the trust is. That's where the confidence comes in. And that's how I know I'm never going to be broke. Because broke is a mindset. It's not a status, it's a mindset. You're broke when you operate from a space of lack, and you can only operate from a space of lack when you don't understand your value. But when you know that you're high level currency, you position yourself differently, okay? So put in the comments for me, I am high level currency, so that I need you to understand and know your value, because you are high level currency. Please don't act like nothing else, because it's really beneath you. It's beneath you to live outside of that. It's beneath you to think outside of that when it comes down to yourself. So put in the comments for me, I am high level currency. Because you need to understand your value. In order to create external value, the only way that you're going to be able to do it is if you know your internal value. External value comes from internal value. And if you don't believe me, look at the system that they tried to use for years. Oh, you got to go to college to be able to get this job. See, they were telling you then internal value is how you're going to create. We determine that you're going to create this external value from the work that you've done from school. And guess what? Now they're telling you, like she just said, now they're telling you these degrees ain't even worth nothing. And I'm telling you as a person who has a bachelor's and a master's and some doctoral work. And I do better now working for myself than I did when I was working for a corporation. I built a 6-figure business from the ground up, and they want to pay me $40,000 for a master's degree, with a master's degree and some doctoral work. So if you're waiting on these corporations and these companies to pay you according to your value, according to your worth, they can't do that. You have to determine what the value is that you're going to accept and what that's going to look like for you. Okay? The next thing I need you to understand is that your belief impacts your biology, and your biology influences the way that you behave. Whatever you believe about yourself, the body's going to come into agreement with, the behavior is going to exhibit. If you believe that you're pregnant, okay, you may start feeling these symptoms of I'm throwing up, I'm sleepy, I'm this, I'm that. And then you take a pregnancy test and guess what? You're not pregnant. Why? Because the mind is so powerful, it tricked the body into believing, hey, we're actually going to have a kid. But then when you actually take a test, in reality, it shows you that you actually are not going to be having a child. So that's just how powerful the mind works. And I think a lot of people never realize that. But yes, that came from the mind. A thought has power over thinking. Overthinking has the power to drain you. Thoughts have the power to catapult you forward, because thinking and thoughts are not the same thing. Thoughts come into your mind. Thinking is you sit there and you doing this. And overthinking is a sign of faith. Lack of faith is a sign of lack of faith. Because if you're overthinking about it and you're worrying about it, that means it's consuming you. And like it says in scripture, how many hours, or is it even going to add an hour of life to you for you to be worrying the way that you are? And it's absolutely not. So it's no benefit of you or to you to actually do that type of worrying, because it really shows how faithless you really are in the space that you're in when you're overthinking something. Okay? Next thing I need you to understand is that there's a 3-part success strategy system that I live by and I teach. And I always tell people all the time, if you look at any celebrity scandal or anything that may have happened in society, compare it. Take what I'm telling you. And they probably violated one of these 3, because these 3 are very powerful and people sleep on them. Sometimes people get 2 of them right and then they miss one of the big ones. They missed another big one. It's just like that, okay? So let's go ahead and get into that. The first thing is obedience to spiritual law. A lot of people will say, well, for me, that looks like scripture. So a lot of people will say, oh, I don't really believe in all that, and in laws. Let me tell you something. This universe is governed by laws. This universe is governed by laws. The sun showing up when it shows up, the moon showing up when it shows up, those things are according to law. If you don't believe me, go read the book of Enoch when they talked about the stars that absolutely did not show up on time and how they got in trouble for it, okay? And I'm not talking about little trouble. I'm talking about big trouble. And the book of Enoch is one of the lost books of scripture, right? One of the laws that people tend to use against themselves a lot is the law of sowing and reaping. God is not mocked, for whatever man sows, you're going to reap. Okay, so with that being said, the same thing is like you may hear people talk about the law of cause and effect. Whatever you sow into this universal algorithm, because the universe is an algorithm, whatever you sow into it is going to give it back to you however many times fold, whatever your portion is. And then some, you're going to get it back. So if you lie to yourself, if you make it a habit of lying to yourself, saying, I'm going to eat right, I'm going to take care of my body, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you don't honor yourself, meaning you don't respect yourself enough to honor the code that you have set for yourself to follow, do not expect anyone else to honor. Honor by definition means to respect your boundaries or the things that you set forth, because you don't honor your own boundaries. And the universal algorithm is only going to respond to the vibration that you set and the one that you are on. So you can lie to your friends, you can lie to the gram, you can lie to TikTok, and you can say, yes, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm doing my inner work, but your relationships are reflecting that you're not doing the inner work. See, we have this thing going on right now where people are very excited. Mental health is a buzzword, and it's very disheartening, but mental health is currently like a buzzword, so people are just using it and they think it's cool, like, yes, I'm in therapy, and it's more so like a show. But let me tell you something: your friendships, your relationships, your life results are going to tell the truth on you. You can only lie for so long. See, your algorithm on TikTok and your Explore page on Instagram tell the truth about what you really do and who you really are and what you really like. Because what shows up on your timeline, what shows up on your Explore page are things that you like and engaged in. It is the exact same thing in life. The results that you have for your life right now are your timeline. That's your personal Explore page. The men you have in your life right now, these men came from what you have sown. Okay? These people who are coming your way, new friends, people who tend to come, these people are coming your way because of things that you've sown. Thank you so much for these gifts. Okay? And you have to start paying attention to, you reap what you sow. So if you lie to yourself, expect other people to lie to you. If you lie to others, expect the person that you want the truth from to lie to you. It is what it is. Obedience to spiritual law is key, and it's number one. Number two is understanding the science of yourself as well as understanding the science of everything else around you. I'm just going to tell you, for the queens who really desire masculinity, especially in the form of it showing up in its fullness and being divine and being that type of man that you guys are really, really wanting, let's be very clear. You can't desire a thing and disrespect a thing, because it just does not work well. It's not going to work well for you. And what I mean by that is, you can't desire a thing and disrespect a thing, is that a lot of us crave that. We desire that type of presence. We desire that type of support. We desire that type of masculinity. But that's not going to come in the forefront when you don't understand how you work scientifically. Relationships, you hear people talk about chemistry. So let's talk about chemistry. When you think about chemistry and you go back to school, when you were in chemistry, it's a combination of formulas. It's a mixing of chemicals. When you don't understand your chemical energy and understand that you operate on a 4-phase system, not just 5 to 7 days where you bleed, you have a menstrual cycle. Your menstrual cycle consists of 4 phases. You go through 4 phases every single month as a woman. You are 4 different women. So the reason why you think you're moody, the reason why you think you're all over the place and you think you're PMSing is because you are not in sync with the different aspects of yourself that come up during each one of those phases. You are not eating the right things to give you the proper nourishment so that you can regulate your body, so your emotions can be stabilized. See, all of these things are connected. So when I say you can't desire a thing and disrespect a thing, when you desire something outside of yourself, when you don't honor yourself enough to know and to align with what's happening within your body, you think that you're going to actually be able to have chemistry with somebody else when you don't understand how your chemical energy works? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The phases are luteal, menstrual, ovulation, and follicular. Those are the 4 phases, and you have to do 4 different things. You're doing 4 different things through each one of those. You literally are becoming 4 different women. So a woman who is at war with herself is always going to be at battle with everyone else because you don't understand the science of yourself. And if you don't understand the science of yourself as a woman, do you really think you understand the science of masculinity? Do you really think that you would recognize masculinity in its divineness? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. That's not possible because you don't recognize the divineness within yourself. So when you don't recognize the divineness within yourself, it's not possible for you to take your chemical energy and actually mix it with the right type of chemical energy. Instead, you're taking your chemical energy, mixing it with somebody else's chemical energy, and your love life is an explosion. And some of us are creating children in the midst of explosions. And we are setting our lineages back because we don't understand the science of ourselves. We don't understand how we operate. So when you get really clear and understand how you operate, then you can choose well. Okay? Because you can choose from a regulated place. That's very, very important for you to understand. So your 4 phases in your cycle, and when you don't understand the science of yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand the science of everything else around you, and that you're connected to all of these things around you. Third thing that's very important, a part of the success strategy system, is number 3. Knowing your personal psychology is very, very key. You really need to know the people that came before you and to study them. Take your judgmental glasses off. Take your feelings out of the situation, because I'm gonna tell you something. You're not gonna ooze feminine energy if you have issues with forgiveness. Unforgiveness makes you a slave and it makes you sick. Actually, feminine energy makes you free, and it's a foundation layer. And you can't lay a foundation when you are in a space of unforgiveness. You're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to assess the women that came before you, so that you can, thank you, my love, for these gifts, and thank you, so that you can actually close the doors and close the gaps that the people that came before you missed. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, because the thing is that, don't you want to make it easier on the people that's coming after you? Don't you want to make it easy on them? Because I know a lot of parents in the generation prior were like, they got to get it like me. They got to understand like me. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. You have to do this like me. No, you got to get it out the mud like me. Don't you want to set your children up to where they're on a path of freedom? Then close the doors. Close the doors from the issues that you have from the women that came before you, so that your children and the women that come after you have a leg up. Do your work. Heal your spirit, your mind, your emotions, and your body for your baby's sake. Okay? Because listen, it's ridiculous out here. It's ridiculous. I know we want to sit here and talk about men all the time, but we have a responsibility to do certain things and to be the way we need to be. Because if we had enough standards and boundaries, holistically as women, men wouldn't act the way they do. And I'm just telling you, men wouldn't act the way they do if women had truth. A lot of women, most women, had standards and boundaries. Where would they go to act up? Where would they go to act up if everybody was on the same page? But no, not everybody wants to be on the same page, because some people are operating from a space of desperation because they don't understand the science of themselves. They don't know their personal psychology, and because you don't, you're doomed to repeat the same thing that came before you, because you think you better than them because you went to school. You think you better than them because you went to therapy. You think you better than them because you got degrees. You think you better than them when you still an orange that came from an orange tree. I don't know why you think you an apple. I don't know why. That's like me saying tomorrow I'm gonna be a donut. I'm no longer a black woman, I'm a donut tomorrow. Like, that's how crazy this sounds when you think that you're going to separate yourself from your lineage without closing any doors, and think that you're really going to be able to sustain and elevate. No, ma'am, that's not the way that goes, okay? So that right there is very important for you to be very clear on and understand. Understanding the science of yourself, 3-part success strategy system, obedience to spiritual law, understanding the science of yourself, as well as, okay, knowing your personal psychology so that you do not repeat it. All right. So with all of that being said, that's that part. I've given you and reminded you of your value. I have explained to you how belief impacts things, and I've explained to you the 3-part success strategy system that really is supporting you in regard to sustaining your success. Okay, because like I said, when you look at a lot of stuff that's happening in the world, a lot of them end up dropping the ball in one of those key areas, and they never seem to get it back. They never seem to get it back. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into tonight's topic. I'm talking about, first, the 5 signs that you burn out your feminine energy. And just because you burn it out don't mean you can't get it back, because you can get it back. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some real work, and I don't know if you're really ready to do that type of work, but it's going to take some work. It's the same work that I've done to lose 90 pounds. It's the same work that I've done to build a 6-figure business. It's the same work that I've done to be able to coach my clients. It's the same work that I've done to be able to be a digital nomad and travel the world. Same formula. It works, okay? So I'm going to tell you the 5 signs, and then I'm going to tell you how you got there. And if you're ready for the solution, I'm going to give you some information about that. For those, again, who are joining, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine lifestyle strategist, and I support my clients in 4 key areas: mastering their authentic feminine design, emotional regulation in the form of energy regulation, as well as creating seamless income, which is making money in a very seamless way instead of hustling, because we don't hustle, we don't chase bags, we catch them over here. And I teach my clients the same. as well as creating a digital-based business model so that you can work from anywhere in the entire world. Okay, so those are the 4 things that I support my clients with. Those are the 4 things that I actually do for myself as well. But let's go ahead and get into these things, okay? Um, First things first, I want to tell you, as a woman on this earth, here are your top 4 areas of currency that I need you to be paying attention to, and I need you to guard with your life. Along with the ones that I told you earlier, because some of them are mixed, but I need you to guard this with your life, because if you don't, you're going to feel it. You're going to regret it, not doing it, and it's going to impact your quality of life in a way that I just don't want to see happen, because it tends to happen to us a whole lot. And here are some of the signs right here that your feminine energy is burned out. Well, no, let me give you that currency first. Your beauty, your energy, your attention, and your time. As a woman, those are the 4 things while you're walking this earth that you need to hold dear to. I'm going to say that again. Your beauty, your energy, your attention, and your time. I'm going to show you something. When you give and I'm going to start from the bottom. We start from the back. When you allow your time to be wasted in the wrong type of relationships, your energy gets exhausted. Okay? So now your time, when you spend too much time, your attention gets taken up. Because remember I told you, when you give somebody your attention, it's more time you give a person, the more attention you give a person, the easier it is for them to manipulate your energy, which brings you down to E. So now they're draining your energy. Okay? And guess what? Have y'all ever seen women that was so pretty? I'm talking about just so pretty. You just see them and they just like radiate beauty. And then they get with a man, or they get at a job, or they start doing something, and it just seems like they just a dullness. They lose their shine. They lose their luster. Like they it's just like they get drained. That's what happens when you waste time giving your attention away. Now your energy gone. Now you look like that. Because let's talk about it. See, everybody want to get into, oh, I just, give my time. You're going to let that man make you ugly. You're going to let that job make you ugly. When you are beautifully and wonderfully made, but you're going to let humans, you're going to let creations of society, of man, of God, of the Most High, who ain't the creator, to turn you into ugly creatures, all because you can't manage your time, your attention, your energy. Now you losing your glow, losing your inner beauty, just nasty by the spirit, just bitter by the spirit, just when you come around. All because you wasted your time. So I need you to first understand that those elements of currency that you are carrying while you are here on this earth. You are a card-carrying member of the beat community, okay? You, as a woman, yeah, you. You are a card-carrying member of the beat community, okay? I'm talking about your beauty, I'm talking about your energy, I'm talking about your attention, I'm talking about your time. You need to act like it. You need to act like it. But you can't act like it when you are overworking. You can't act like it when you are emotionally and physically exhausted. Those things ruin your beat. You overwork due to bad programming. And because of that programming, it teaches you to violate spiritual law. And when things happen or manifest in your reality in earth, it starts spiritually. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. So here's a spiritual law that is the violation that people are doing, that has them out here overworking, that has women out here emotionally and physically exhausted, that has women out here ruining their beat, ruining their beauty, ruining their energy, ruining their attention, wasting their time. All because they're in violation of this law. 1 Timothy 6, 9, and 10. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and the trap, into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. You listening to these people that's telling you to hustle, When it tell you in scripture, when you chase money, it tell you in Proverbs, when you chase money, it's like it takes up wings like a bird and flies away from you. Yes, society has programmed us and trained us that you sleep when you dead, you do this, you do that. That is the temptation and a trap. But team, welcome to Witchcraft 101. See, y'all be trying to call stuff witchcraft. That y'all really be worried, be really trying. It's the little things. Witchcraft is nothing but the ability to be able to alter your mindset about something. Just like society altered our minds using Sprite. Y'all know I use Sprite all the time. Sprite by saying obey your thirst. So now when we want to quench our thirst, what do we reach for? Sprite. When your body ever said it wanted Sprite though? When did your body craves water? Water. But you were programmed to get a Sprite. You were programmed to get a Coke. Bad programming has you out here overworking your body by giving it Sprite, giving it Coke, giving it tea, giving it everything other than what it needs. See what happens when you got a bad program? It's the little things, beloved. It's the little things. Y'all these folks, I'm talking about y'all writing dissertations on these celebrities and this demonic behavior and all this witchcraft when y'all got witchcraft sitting right there in your house, in your minds. Okay? So that's the first violation. That's just one. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. See, this is how scammers start, because you're chasing a bag. I seen this person make this amount of money, so let me overwork, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this. And meanwhile, over time, your beauty fading, your energy gone, your attention gone, your time gone. And you looking for them people to celebrate you after 40 years of you wasting your time at their job. Or you want them to give you something to show appreciation for you making the decision to go up in there and submit to them every single day when they don't care about you. Oh, okay then. Oh. Then people don't care nothing about ruining you and overworking you. They have a mission. You have to care about you. See, scripture tells you you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. You don't love yourself when you're overworking yourself. You don't love yourself when you're physically exhausting yourself. You don't love yourself when you're emotionally exhausting yourself, because it is ruining your beauty, your energy, your attention, and it is wasting your years. And it's all because you're in spiritual violation, because you fell into the trap. Let me hustle. You understand? Hustle by definition means to swindle. You understand? To swindle means to steal. You understand what the hustle steals from you? It steals your time. It steals your energy. It steals your attention. And it steals your beauty. That's what it steals from you. And then they pay you cheap money when that ain't even the real money you actually can get. If you knew your gifts. If you really tapped into the God frequency that is Luke 17:21. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Abundance is your birthright, according to John 10:10. Says the enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy, but the Messiahs come to give you life and give you life abundantly. Abundance means plentifulness. In order to access this plentifulness, you have to be in alignment. In order to be in alignment, you have to be associated. You have to be deeply rooted with the one that created you. That's the foundation. That's what it is. You can't have access to abundance and not have the connection to the one that created you. That ain't the way it works. So you think you want, then you'll get caught up in wanting material abundance. What you don't realize is, or what you think to be material possessions in the form of abundance, what you will realize, especially women realize when they come to work with me, I don't tell you to chase money. I don't even teach, like my clients that have made $15K in 30 days and, all manifested partners and marriages and all, like that type of stuff, like, it's not even a strategy. I'm like, oh, this is what you do. I guide women back to themselves. The truth is within you. I help you do that real work so that you can really be an energetic match to have what it is that you want. A lot of people are not energetic matches to have these things. You want to have a six-figure business. You're not an energetic match for a six-figure business because you can't manage $100. You can't manage $1,000. So you think you're gonna run a six-figure company, baby? You're going to jail, beloved, because we can't function with this. He who is faithful with a little can be trusted with a lot. He's faithful with a lot. But baby, that instability is going to get it every time. Okay? So that overworking, that's leading to you being emotionally exhausted, that's leading to you being physically exhausted, is literally ruining you. It's ruining your quality of life and is not making you get any more money. It's not helping you get any more income. And it is ruining your beats, which means it is draining your feminine energy. So guess what? So let's talk about this real quick. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about a woman. Picture this. A woman who works a job, and it could be a manual job where she's using her hands, or it can be a job where she's using her mind all the time, right? I want you to think about a woman who is constantly overworking, constantly doing this, constantly doing that, emotionally exhausted at work, drained. She get home, she's exhausted. Imagine that she got other roles. She's a wife. Imagine that she got other roles. She's a mommy. Okay? You ever had to deal with somebody who was exhausted, who have been overworked, who have been overworking themselves? They're not very pleasant, beloved. It's hard to come home with a pleasant attitude when you have been exhausting yourself all day long. It's hard to come home and find the balance when you've been running yourself ragged all day. It's hard to give energy to the people you value the most when you spent the majority of your time, energy, attention being focused on running somebody else's vision and mission. Because you want to overwork, to impress them. Because if you overwork, they're going to promote you. If you overwork, they're going to do this. If you overwork, they're going to do this. If you get in alignment, you actually can attract the things that actually belong to you, instead of you feeling like you have to overwork yourself. Because that's the hustle mentality. See, you're overworking yourself. That's the masculine principle within yourself that's rising up. Why you can't sit in the feminine? Because you're not inspired. Why are you not inspired? You're not inspired by yourself. And when you're not inspired by yourself, when you're not attracted to yourself, when you're not turned on by yourself, you think that that's going to happen from an outside party and it's be consistent and it be a real foundation of something? No, because there's no real foundation within you. Why? Because you're too busy overworking. You're too busy exhausted. And don't nobody want to get off and deal with another man. No man want to deal with another man. The masculine principle in you is standing straight up. Nobody wants to do that. Okay? So those are 3 signs right there that are ruining your beat that you need to pay attention to. Okay? Here are the next 2. Prolonged frustration, which keeps you stuck, and prolonged stress, which makes you sick. Okay? Let me say it again. Prolonged frustration, which is keeping you stuck, and prolonged stress, which is making you sick. I have spent years, and I do mean years, studying the manipulation and the stress of the planet, of the inhabitants of the planet, from animals, and specifically down to human beings, in particular women. So when I tell you I'm not new to this, I'm very true to it, okay? Stress begets sickness, okay? When you allow stress to enter into your body and you continue to put yourself in a stress space, it throws your body out of hormonal balance. Once the body is out of hormonal balance, it creates dis-ease. Dis-ease, disease. There's a lack of harmony within the body. There's something within the body that is disrupting its normal flow of things, okay? And stress is one of those things. And stress can lock up joints. Stress can do a whole lot of things. I really implore you to do your research on how emotions get stuck and how they impact a lot of your organs and what organs specifically that they attack. Those who are going to the doctor for things like IBS, this is what I want to ask you. For those who are having digestive issues, for those who are having IBS issues that they have diagnosed you with, my question to you is, how much do you worry? How much anxiety do you have? Because that's what's eating your stomach up, along with the food, with the fillers that's putting holes in your intestines. So you got the stress of the food, and you have the stress of the work element of everything that's going on. You overwork, so of course you stress. You're physically and emotionally exhausted. Of course you're frustrated. You are stuck. You're stuck, and you're getting sicker by the day when you position yourself. And yes, you have no feminine energy, because feminine energy is very up. It's very free. It's very inviting. It's very warm. How are you going to be warm when you're stressed? How are you going to be warm and open when you're frustrated? It's not possible. But here's the key thing that is a real big issue. Exactly. And who you're not forgiving. When I noticed, I said prolonged frustration and prolonged stress, meaning this is habitual behavior. This is normally your thing. And see, a lot of us as women will sit in a space of frustration and not get your answers, not get the questions to your, not get the answers to your questions because you feel like it's a dumb question, or I should know this by now because I'm at this age bracket. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a dumb question. The only one that's dumb is the one you don't ask. Because no matter how much people will try to make you feel small about what you don't know at this big age or whatever the case may be, none of us know everything and none of us will know any and everything. And even what we think we know, especially the people who come into wisdom of the Most High, you realize in everything that you think you know, you really know nothing at all. And therefore you seek counsel. Here's how you get out of that prolonged stress and out of that prolonged frustration. You need to remember that this verse right here specifically, Proverbs 15:12, where there is no counsel, purposes are frustrated. But with many counselors, they are accomplished. I always tell people, and I'm going to say it again, where there is no counsel, purposes are frustrated. See, a lot of y'all are not clear and you feel stuck and you don't know what to do. That's because you have not sought out proper counsel. But with many counselors, they are accomplished. I always tell people you should have an ascension team. You should have an amazing doctor. You should have an amazing person that you're doing therapy and coaching with. You should have an amazing, like you should have a whole team of people that support you and you being well and you ascending from all kind of aspects: spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, social health, financial health, okay? Because those things are very, very important. You have to start investing in those things, in the things that you don't know. Because and stop trying to DIY. We love to try to be cheap and try to do things ourselves. Girl, if you had the answers, you would be free. If you had the answers, you would already be free. If you had the answers, you wouldn't be experiencing what you're experiencing right now. So seek the type of counsel that you need. And when you go about seeking counsel, seek people who actually are doing what it is that you desire to do or at a level that you desire to get to. And those spaces require investment. You got to decide whether or not you eating out, going to brunch every weekend is getting you the return on your investment that you need to versus you investing in a health program or you investing in a coaching program that's going to support you and amplify your gifts, whatever that looks like. You got to decide what is more important right now. You want to be able to have brunch for life, or you want to be able to have brunch out all this year and be looking crazy next year? Because I already told y'all, the first round of layoffs, first. We're in the first round. We're nowhere near done. It's not even March. They didn't even wait till March, okay? So again, prolonged frustration, prolonged stress, those key things, those are signs that your feminine energy is burned out because you're stuck and then it's making you sick. Now here's the one that I think a lot of people don't think about when we get to this space, but I want to break it down for you in a way that you really feel it and that you really understand it, okay? The fourth sign or the fifth sign of that is complete depletion of energy. And that right there, literally, is what the first part of John 10:10 tells you. It literally tells you that the thief comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. Okay? What's first stolen is your joy. What's taken down next is your confidence. Once you break, and confidence is belief. So once you break the belief within a person, which makes a person secure, and security comes from a lot of your spiritual foundation. If you don't really have that, it's easier for you to self-destruct. Okay? Even when you do have that foundation, it's still, if you're not careful, easy for you to self-destruct. And when I say self-destruct, because you allow yourself to allow all of your energy to be depleted, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's at a corporation. Like you cannot be allowing that to happen, because I'm going to tell you what happens in that space. Complete depletion of energy when it comes down to a woman. This is what's left, and this is what a lot of us are walking around as. Get in your feelings, but I'm saying what I'm saying because I see it every single day, and I've been there. When you allow yourself to get to a place of complete depletion, what's left is a shell of a woman whose masculine principle has risen up to protect her. So she is very defensive. She's hyper independent. She's very like just very attitudinal. She's very bitter. We have a shell of a woman with the masculine principle that has risen up. So this shell of a woman who's not operating from her authentic energy is trying to build a six-figure business. This woman is out here trying to date people. This woman is out here knowing that she's lost and has no clue where to turn. The truth of the matter is, if you identify with being any of those women, it's time for you to turn back to what's within you, because you've clearly forgotten who you are. You've clearly forgotten who you are. There are a lot of women who are completely depleted of their feminine energy, and they are out here trying to really date, build businesses, be successful, and do all of these things in an authentic way. Whatever you attract or obtain under false pretenses of not being the fullness of yourself, you will not be able to keep. This is why you see women who get to the top of the corporate ladder, especially women of color, and they have the worst anxiety in the world. They cracking. They can't take it. It's just too much. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot going on sitting up at the top. Why? Because you gotta, now you up there with the big boys. Now you gotta act. You feel like you gotta act like the big boys. And because you acting like the big boys and you're overworking and you're working twice as hard, because you know it's only one of us that can get up here in XYZ, and I'm the only black woman, I'm the only woman that's up here doing this. So you're overworking yourself. You're diving more and more into your masculine principle, and you are leaving your true self behind. So when we have an identity crisis, when we go to therapy, or when we have a nervous breakdown, we're trying to understand where this is coming from, and it is coming from this right here, these things right here. That overworking, that physical and mental and emotional exhaustion, that prolonged frustration, that prolonged stress. Now you are completely depleted. You are a shell of a woman now. The money ain't making you happy. See, this is what happens right here. That's why the money, yeah, wonderful. Women making a whole lot of money. They're not happy. They're not happy. Because the things that they thought that this money was going to be able to do, it's not doing. It's not doing. That's because they're doing all the doing, and they're not realizing that. Okay? Here's how we get to this space, or how women got to this space where they started, where they basically got to the point where they depleted all of their feminine energy and they completely burned it out. Here are the three things that tends to happen in our life that put us in that position to where we grow up and we're operating from that space where the masculine principle is the one who rises within us instead of our natural, authentic feminine principle. How do I know if I'm operating? People ask us, how do I know if I'm operating from my masculine principle, which is left brain energy, or my feminine principle, which is right brain energy? Okay? If you're operating from, if you are always in your head, you are always thinking, you are always overthinking, it's always this, you're in the masculine principle. And what I mean by that is, I'll use this as an example. If you go out on a date with a man, the type of men that I enjoy, I like men who are very masculine, but men who are also very, and when I say very masculine, they're very protective. So when we walk into the room, men are assessing the room to see where the exits are. If something happened, they're always thinking of a master plan. So if you always thinking of a master plan every day you wake up, the masculine principle is the one that's running your life. If you wake up in the morning and you're inspired and you trust in your heart and in your womb that things are going to work according to the way that they're supposed to, you really trust the Most High, that means that you're operating more so from your feminine principle. Okay? I operate naturally from my feminine principle. When I am doing business and when I'm operating from business, I'm operating from the masculine principle. When I say I'm doing business, I'm doing behind the scenes work, I'm doing logistics things, I'm doing critical thinking things. All of those things are masculine principle. So in order to do business, it's very important to have a good balance. So this is how the balance goes. This is how the balance for me goes. Balance goes for me and how I operate and how I balance my systems, my masculine and feminine principle. So in order for me to work every single day, number one, I have to be inspired. That's the feminine. So I have to wake up in me. I have to wake up in my energy. I have to wake up in my authenticity because I need to be inspired. So in that aspect of me being inspired, there are desires that are created for this. So here are my feminine desires. Here are the things I want for myself. Here are the things that I feel like I have, right? I need. So then that aspect of it is cool because now I can create. because I understand what's going on. So let's go to the masculine principle, where how I'm going to actually execute these things. So remember, I said feminine is the inspire and desire for me. Masculine principle is going to come in. Okay, so what's required to be able to get this? What's required to be able to get this done? So that goes into your rules, that goes into your structure, that goes into your order, which is the masculine. You hear things like father time. That is the masculine principle, right? So so I have to know what's required, and then I have to do the work to acquire. Okay, which means I have to do. So, and do is the masculine, and to be is the feminine. So in order for me to do business in a way where it suits me and I'm able to still ooze feminine energy, I have to have the balance of both. And I teach women the balance of both because it's very important. You have a lot of people now that are teaching, oh, you need to be more feminine, oh, you need to do this. If you are too much in your feminine, you're not getting anything done. Okay? You need to know how to balance both of these. If you're too much in your masculine, you're going to overwork yourself and burn out this energy over here. And that's why you can't create. When you were overworked here and you're always in the masculine principle, this is how a lot of women end up having fertility issues. And I'm telling you as a woman who used to have them, who had them. These are things that come from you overworking yourself, because you being exhausted physically, you finally feeling it is a representation of how your body has been overworking for a very long time. Burnout is not something that just happens. It literally happens over years. Years. So you think it's your new job, it's not. It's just that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay? So here are the three things that really got twisted, and it has a lot of us operating more so from that principle of left brain versus our natural energy. Okay, so of course, if you know in Genesis, you know I talked about before, if you read it yourself, it talked about how the Most High created us in his likeness, and the Most High created us in his image, and the Most High gave us dominion, right? Remember that, don't forget it, Genesis 1. Okay, so that's the plan. The plan is you have a godlike nature, you have godlike character, and then you have your own territory. If you can master them first two, then you can be trusted with the third. Okay, that's literally how it goes. If I can trust you to understand your identity, if I can trust you to operate according to the right character, then you can obtain what is yours, because I know that you can manage what is yours. I tell people all the time, authenticity is what gets you in the room. Your character is what keeps you in rooms. So when you understand your godlike nature, you begin to move different. Here's where it got confused for a lot of women, and why a lot of women's masculine principle are running things instead of the actual feminine principle. There's an alteration that happened. There's an alteration that happened somewhere in your life that threw things off balance, okay? An alteration means to become different. There is something about you that got shifted and that changed according to something that either was taught, said, or delivered to you some kind of form or fashion, and it was taken as truth, okay? Because, and the reason why I say that is a lot of women are in competition with each other, okay? A lot of women are just in competition in general, like it's just all over the place. And the reason why I am not a woman who's in competition with other women, I'm only in competition with myself, is because I understand the principle of Deuteronomy 14:2, which is you've been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and he has chosen you from all the nations of the earth to be his special treasure. If I know I'm a special treasure, and I digest and dissect the fact that I am a national treasure, I am a special treasure, then why do I want to be like anyone else? See, the alteration came in when somebody told you that you yourself was not good enough. So then you started to pretend to be something else other than yourself. And just like we all learned during the pandemic, when you wear a mask too long, it begins to smother you, beloved. So you're going to have to take it off. Okay? You're going to have to take it off. An alteration has been done to your mental and to your mindset. So the way that you see yourself and your self-concept of you is the reason why you can't get to the next level, because you don't really believe that you're worth it. You don't really have elevated thoughts about yourself. You don't really know self. You have an altered perception of who you are. You don't operate like the goddess that you are. You don't operate like you have the God frequency within you. You operate from a space of lack because you don't know who you are. There's been an alteration. Or somebody told you you ain't never going to be nothing. I just told you you a special treasure though. I just told you that your creator of all things has said that you are literally a special treasure. You have a choice to make on what you're going to believe. See, because I understand that I'm a special treasure, ain't nobody ever going to treat me like I'm not. Not a man, not a friend, not a clown, not a stranger, not a homeless man, not anything is going to treat me any less than a special treasure. Period. Because I understand it about myself. But when you don't understand it about yourself, you let people treat you any kind of way. You let him leave and come back and do this, and people slap in the face and come back and do this, and they say they're going to be there for you, and you keep taking it back because you got a big heart, baby, you lying. There's an alteration to how you see yourself, and you don't honor yourself because you don't know you a queen. You don't know you're created in the likeness of the Most High, and you don't operate that way. So you let people use you up. They use your good energy. They use your good everything because they know you don't see your own value. See, people see your value. They just hope you don't recognize your value, which is why they keep sucking yours up. Because you don't understand yourself because there's been an alteration. And so it's a difference. Okay? The second thing that's different, and that's huge, of how we got to the part of, so, and that's what I'm saying, when I say the alteration, that's why you out here hustling. Because the mind frame is that you have to get out here and do X, Y, Z, and that's really not the truth. The second reason why women have ended up in this space is because of the divergence that's happened. And when I say the divergence that happened, there's been a deviation from the standard, from the course that you were supposed to go on. There's been a deviation from the path. Okay? You know in your heart of hearts that this business is what you're supposed to be doing. But you let someone who has never give you constructive criticism, who has never constructed anything but a monstrosity of a mess of their life, you let them tell you that you can't do it, and because of that, you went off the path. And because you've gone off the path, because you listened to a naysayer or you listened to the wrong person, now you're lost. Now you're lost. You've deviated from where you were supposed to be. And now you're lost. You let somebody tell you that ain't nobody gonna ever love you like I loved you. Some of y'all need to look at them folks and be like, baby, yes, that's exactly the point. Nobody's gonna love me like you. I don't ever want this love again. Hello? Y'all letting people tell you nobody gonna love you the way I love you, and you believe in them. And you staying. Getting played to the left. Really not getting played, playing yourself, because nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply aren't paying attention. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, I can guarantee you. If you ask the Most High about somebody, the Most High will reveal. But you better be ready to move your feet when you find out what the tea is. And the problem is we don't really want to know what the tea is because we really don't want to move our feet. Because we really don't have the faith that we're going to have something or have an experience that's going to be really elevated, so we settle for this one. Why? Because there's an alter in how you see yourself. There's an alteration in how you see your design, and because of that, you listen to them. You divert from the plan. Here's where where you're in spiritual violation. Proverbs 4:25 and 27. Keep your eyes on the path, look straight ahead. Make sure you're going the right way. Nothing will make you fail. Don't go right or left. And you will stay away from evil. See, you swaying to the left and the right. This is what I tell people when they first come into business. Don't get caught up in the criticisms and don't get caught up in the compliments. See, if you get too caught up in the compliments, your head going to get big. And when you stop getting them from people, because people will cancel on you like this, okay? They will cancel you, okay? When the people cancel you and they ain't compliment you no more, then you're going to be crushed. Because now you ain't getting your fix. You ain't getting your feed. You ain't getting your claps. You're not getting your approval. But when you're not doing it for the people on the left and you're not doing it for the people on the right, the people who are criticizing you, doing all that, if you allow the criticism to continue, it's going to cripple you from being able to continue to walk the path. This is why it tells you not to sway to the left or the right. Why are you listening to people? The light is that way, baby. The light is that way. See, that's what a real light is. These street lights up here, they're there to guide your path. They're there to remind you to keep walking. Much like you walk away from the gas station, man, he be trying to holler at you. You be walking real fast. That's how fast you need to be walking on the path. So you can stay on it. Because you don't need to be diverting from here to there and everywhere. That's why you lost. That's why you're confused. That's why you're all over the place. Stay and stick to the path designed for you. And if people ask, well, how do I find the path designed for me? Again, when you ask the Most High for wisdom, it tells you this in James. That's the one thing the Most High will always grant you wisdom. But again, you better be ready to move your feet. And sometimes when it's time to move your feet, the Most High will tell you to do something that makes absolutely no sense in your logistical mind, in your left brain mind that tries to rationalize everything. Yeah, no, you're just going to have to move your feet. Okay? You're going to have to move your feet. Even if you think it's going to make you look crazy. Because trust me when I tell you, it's a lot of people when you first start the process, they're going to be looking at you like you're crazy. And then when you start ascending and moving, they're going to ask you how you did it. Some of y'all gonna have to go by yourself and go alone. And you too scared, but you need to go alone and go by yourself. Because you know you the smartest one in your friend group and you need to get out the room. See, when you become the smartest person in your room and everybody come to you, you need another room to be in. I'm not telling you need to lead them where they at. What I am telling you is that you need another room to be in because you're going to get the big head. And you ain't going to grow because you're just sitting right there being asked questions all the time over and over and over again until you get exhausted. Until you get to a space of exhaustion. Elevate and ascend. Stop sitting in these small rooms because it's not going to continue to work for you. Okay? All right. The last reason a lot of this is happening is the inability to be consistent with self. And this happens when you are taught things that go against your authentic design. I want you to really think about this for a second. Does it even feel natural for you to have to be working while you are on your cycle, while you are on the phase of your cycle where you're actually releasing? Does it really think about that for a second? What your body is actually going through. Does it really make sense? Or how does it make you feel when you're working in that type of condition? I'm sure it's pretty exhausting. I'm sure you probably get tired quick. I'm sure all these things are happening, right? That is because you're going against your authentic design. That's why it doesn't feel right. Because truthfully, during that time frame, you are supposed to rest. Because you are physically releasing, therefore you should be spiritually releasing the things that don't belong, mentally releasing the things that are bothering you, and emotionally releasing the things that do not deserve to be in your space. And this is supposed to be happening every single month. And I want you to think about all the time that you spent not releasing but working. Do you realize that your cycle sets the tone for the rest of how your entire cycle phase is going to go, how your body's going to perform and operate throughout the entire month? So you don't even know that. They don't tell you that. They don't let you know that. And this is why you are inconsistent with self, because you live in a double life. They told you to work hard and take Advil during your cycle. They told you to take a leave and do this and do that. They told you to get on birth control. They told you to do all of these things. And now you are wondering why you are in internal war with self. You are wondering why there is no consistency with self. You are wondering why you live in a life that's not fulfilled. Why? It's because you have no peace. And if you have no peace, you can't create a peaceful atmosphere in a home. And women are the thermostat of the home. We determine how it's going to feel up in there. So if you are not at peace, you can't create peace. And again, to not be consistent with self, again, is a violation. 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Now, may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times in all ways. That's the only way you're going to be able to get peace, is to go into your authentic design, the authentic frequency. That is you, which is Luke 17:21. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You got to go back to you in order to reset this programming. And really to uproot this programming. Because you were programmed. These are the ways that you were programmed. And where did these programs come from? They didn't come in your adulthood. They came from childhood. And things that come from childhood require a different type of level of healing. And it requires you to reparent your inner child. Hi, my love. It requires you to reparent your inner child. Okay? And let me tell you something. When you are an adult, if you are out here dating in 2024, if you are out here building businesses in 2024, if you are out here just living in 2024, let me tell you something. The reparenting of your inner child is going to be required. Because there are a lot of us who are walking around here, we are grown children. We are walking around and we are not dealing with our issues, and we are pushing our issues onto our friends, onto our partners, and all these different things when these are things that we are supposed to be dealing with at hand. And the first things first is it's time for you to build a relationship with your inner child. Some of y'all do not have a relationship with your inner children, which is why they run your life. And let me tell you how you know they're running your life. That little neediness in you, that needy you. See, everybody needy. Hey, my love, everybody has elements of neediness. So please don't take it as like, oh, I'm trying to judge because you need. No, we all have elements of neediness. But the neediness that's what's in you, that's your inner child. She needs something. The grown woman, though, doesn't know to give it to her, so she seeks it out in men. She seeks it out in her friendships. She seeks it out at work, so she works herself into oblivion. She seeks it out in other outlets because she doesn't understand what exactly is happening, and she doesn't have a relationship with her inner child. She doesn't know how to reparent her inner child. If you grew up with abandonment issues, if you grew up with any form of abuse, you require reparenting. Your inner child requires reparenting because you're going to get into these relationships and baby, you're going to be wondering why you looking for this man to be your daddy. You looking for this man to be your daddy. See, I've been there. I get it. You want him to be the hero that your dad was not. Or you want him to be the hero that you believe your dad is. These men and these people that you are dealing with are not responsible for carrying the weight of your neediness. It is your responsibility to love yourself as you love your neighbor. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You do not love that man if you do not love that inner child within you. You're lying. Because that inner child is the one who is needy. That inner child is the one that needs reparenting. That inner child is the one that needs attention. That inner child is the one that needs to be seen. Okay? And because of that, a lot of women's inner child is out of whack, and that's why your life is out of whack. Because if you let children lead, what happens? They get wild, they get messy. They're children. They're children. Okay? So with that being said, the reason why I'm making it very clear that this programming and all of this came from childhood is because I'm hosting a masterclass on the 5th if you want a solution to building a relationship with your inner child and doing that reprogramming work. It's called Radiant Roots. Because a lot of us, our parents and our families had things going on and they didn't really get to ground us and give us the things that we needed. I'm sure they wanted to. I'm sure if they go back and they could look at it, they would desire to do it. But how long are you going to blame them, and when are you going to start getting on the journey of reparenting yourself? I took a year to reparent my inner child, and then I turned around and took a year to reparent my inner teen. And I had to do that after I got a divorce, because if I didn't reparent my inner child, I was not going to be able to be in any type of healthy masculine, attract any type of healthy masculine at all. At all. Because if you don't do your inner work, you will be looking for these men to be your father. You will be looking for them to be all these different things that you really should not be looking to them for. You have to be able to give yourself these things to what you need. And for people to be like, oh, well, yes, your partner, you should supposed to be able to just be whatever with them. Let me tell you something. Let me put you back in perspective. Let me put you on game. It tells you in scripture, I'm sorry, my nose itching so bad. It tells you in scripture not to be conformed of this world, to be transformed by the daily renewing of your mind, meaning that you should not be attached to the things of this world, including people. If you don't do anything in this life, I strongly suggest you master the art of detachment, the art and the science to it. And one day I'm going to host a masterclass on the science of it, because there's an art to it, but there's a science to it too. People are going to leave your life. They're going to leave you in death, or they're going to leave you in life. That's the reality that you better know. And you better get real accustomed to. But what you are going to have on this earth, while you are on this earth, you're going to always have you. And you're going to always have to deal with you. And you're going to always have to face you. And within you is an inner child who needs who desires, who wants, who craves. That's who acting up when you not getting your way. Why you didn't call me back? You crying and screaming because they didn't call you back. Baby, you still mad that your daddy didn't call you back. You still mad that your daddy didn't come pick you up. And now you are projecting that energy on him. He must be doing this. He must be doing that. Where did that come from? Because that ain't on him. So when it comes down to the reparenting class, it's called Radiant Roots, a reparenting journey for feminine souls. This is only for women who really want to balance their feminine and their masculine and really get in alignment with self. Here are the things that we're going to be going over. You're going to get insights on reparenting for personal growth. You're going to learn my my 4 parts S system when it comes down to reparenting your inner child. You're going to learn how to create standards. You're going to learn how to create structure. You're going to learn how to create scheduled playtime. Because yes, believe it or not, you need that as an adult. Recess, it's a science to recess. It's a science to recess. It's a reason why that was available, okay? So structure, standards, scheduled playtime, as well as stability. Those are the 4 things that your inner child needs. I'm going to say it again. She needs structure, she needs standards, she needs scheduled playtime, and she needs stability, especially if you didn't have these things growing up. Guess what? Congratulations, you're responsible for providing these things for her right now. Okay? It's now your responsibility to provide her with those things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about, I'm going to show you how to rediscover playtime, how to build a foundation of structure for your inner child, how to set loving standards, because I don't like the way y'all talk to yourselves. I know y'all be talking crazy to yourselves in your mind, and I don't really like it. How you talk to yourself leads how things are going to operate and flow for you, okay? So you're also going to learn how to embrace stability, because I'm going to tell you something. We live in a toxic society, and all a lot of women want to do is have chaotic situations. Y'all don't even know how to be in healthy relationships because you're calling them boring. You're bored because there's no drama. You like drama because you're programmed to watch it, to digest it, to listen to it, and therefore you feel like if it's not a rush and a thrill and drama, then it's not real or it's not authentic. And that's how y'all messing up y'all situations, y'all relationships, and different things as well. You're also going to get some information in regard to healing techniques and practices, including guided meditations, journal exercises specifically for your inner child, and creative expression for emotional release for your inner child, because this is going to be very, very important, okay? So what is going to be the benefits? And I'm going to tell you something. The benefits, when I speak to the benefits, I'm speaking to the masculine aspect of your brain. Benefits, when you're doing classes or products or services or anything, the masculine wants to know the benefits. The feminine wants to know how she's going to feel after. The benefits of this is that you're going to reconnect with your inner child, and it's going to bring a sense of light to your life. And when you exude that childlikeness, that's going to make you even more attractive, and it's going to elevate your glow. You're going to create emotional stability. Thank you for that, Paris. Perfect. She's absolutely right. That's the one that I recommend for you, my love. I was going to answer. Emotional stability and balance is another thing that you're going to get and benefit from this masterclass. From this workshop. Because it's not a masterclass, it's a workshop. You're going to have enhanced self-worth and confidence. What happens when you do that is that when you have an elevated belief of self, you begin to live a life and choose things that are in alignment with that elevated belief of self, okay? And then you're going to have the benefit of a structured life and positive mindset. So it's going to shift you into not being so difficult and hard on yourself, but actually elevate the way you treat yourself, the way you see yourself, and your complete concept of self, okay? Here are the feelings that you're going to feel after. You're going to feel extremely supported. You're going to know how to create your joy because you rediscovered it. You're going to be balanced and connected. You're going to feel confident and inspired. And here's how this is going to impact how you make money, which is very, very important. These things are key. Now, one of the things that I had to learn in order for me not to be distracted, because I'm a person that can get easily distracted, I learned when I was getting easily distracted, my inner child wanted to play. So what I learned is when I was able to create activities for my inner child, and I would go and I would do those things, whether it's me getting on a swing or me going to do whatever it is that I'm going to do, when I come back, I have the focus and the discipline to do my work, because it's almost like I've tired out my inner child. This is literally how this process works, right? This is a part of me building my 6-figure business. My inner child, and the reason why it's so important for you to be connected with your inner child is because your inner child is huge when it comes down to your creative process. You're lacking in creativity, 9 times out of 10, you are not connected to your inner child. When you think back to when you are young and when you were little, you had these different activities and different things that made you feel good, that made you feel amazing, that gave you joy. Those things, going back and doing some of those things, will spark creativity because it raises and brings out your inner child. You're going to need your inner child, especially if you are a business owner. Okay? You're going to need to understand this if you are wanting to date out here in 2024. You are going to have to reparent your inner child, because your inner child is the one that acts a fool when he ain't responded to you in this time frame that you feel like he should be responding to you in, when in reality, you should be clocking nobody time. Because if you got time to be worried about what they doing and why they ain't responding to you in 6 hours, you don't have enough to do. You don't have enough to do. Because if you clocking somebody else's time and why they haven't texted you back, you don't have enough to do, which means you ain't really doing enough when it comes down to yourself. And we need to get on that, okay? Because before you get to worry about somebody else, we need to be asking, have you made money today? Have you worked out today? Have you ate right today? Have you done all of these things before you mind the business of somebody else? Especially when it comes down to the masculine, okay? Because they working, all right? So the impact of this masterclass is going to support you in fostering a mindset, a money-making mindset, understanding that you can make money with your mind, that you understand abundance is your birthright. It'll provide you with clarity in your decision-making, which is going to increase your confidence. And when you have more confidence, it's easier for you to execute your goals. It's easier for you to go after your goals, because ultimately it's going to contribute to you creating financial success. So if you think that you're going to do business and not do your inner work and not interact with your inner child and make a lot of money, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but absolutely not. You can't deny aspects of yourself and think that you're going to elevate. You're going to meet every aspect of yourself. All those things that we like to repress and push down and do all these things, you're going to always eventually have to face you. It's better for you to go and face you. I will never forget when the time that I had a visualization in the tub with my inner child, because when you're doing that inner child work, and then during the workshop, I'm going to teach you to figure out what your inner child age is, because everyone has a specific inner child age, and you have a inner teen age, and I'll walk you through the process of how you're going to figure that out in that masterclass. In that workshop. So my inner child, my inner teen is about 14. My inner child is really probably about 12. I would normally say like 10 because I was a start, but really about 12, right? Because that's when, wow, I'm going to say, I'll tell you that in the workshop. I had to have a visualization with my 12-year-old self to apologize. To apologize for the things that I participated in when I didn't understand our value. I had to apologize for seeking other people to give and meet the needs that she had when it was my responsibility to meet those needs. And I also made a promise to my inner child that I was not going to make any more decisions without A, seeking the Most High, and B, I would not put us in any situations anymore that was going to harm us. I was going to be thinking in the forefront about us, because the inner child, her, she is the needy one. She is the one who was abandoned. She's the one who wants attention. She's the one who wants X, Y, Z. And she was the one who was projecting and forcing that onto other people, expecting them to deliver. And that wasn't fair. And that wasn't right. So when I started to reparent my inner teen, my inner child, the crazy part is it gave me my elevated glow. It gave me my joy. It gave me all this. It kind of like magnetized me even more, because I didn't lose my childlikeness in a dark world. And and one of the things I hear all the time is that it makes me a whole lot even more attractive, because I'm so giddy and I have that childlikeness within myself, if you know me and if you really experience me outside of social, right? So it's very important for you to reparent your inner child, for you to do that work. Paris has it pinned here. It is the Radiant Roots Workshop. It's a reparenting journey for feminine souls who want to do their work. The workshop, keep saying masterclass. The workshop is $197. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. It is happening on March the 5th at 6:30 p.m. If you've ever done a masterclass or a workshop with me, you know that I absolutely bring and give, and I don't gatekeep. So this is going to be an amazing process. I can tell you right now, because of the powerful information and the strategy that I'm going to be providing in this masterclass, I can tell you that it's not going, hey, my love, that it's not going to be 197. It's going to be a course. It's going to be a high level course. So if you want in on it now, grab your ticket. Grab your ticket. And here's another thing. I'm only doing 20 tickets. And as you see, I got 40,000 followers on TikTok. I have a lot of followers on YouTube. And I have a lot of email subscribers. So the 20 is the 20. Okay? So like I said, I have 20 tickets. It's for 20 women who are extremely serious about reparenting their inner child so they can stop burning out their feminine energy. If you don't, and I'm just be honest with you, if you don't reparent your inner child, you're going to continue to suffer from burnout when it comes down to your feminine energy, which means the masculine principle within self is always going to be on defense, or is always going to stand up, always going to be critical, and it is going to make it very difficult for you to have supportive masculinity around you. It's going to be very difficult for people to deal with you because you're overworking yourself and you're not even so much like yourself, so people don't want to deal with you. So reparenting your inner child is going to bring back what it is that you were missing, so you don't lose yourself in the process, because you need your inner child to create. Okay? What questions? That's all I have. What questions do you guys have for me before I get ready to get off here? Any questions in regards to the reparenting masterclass, the Radiant Roots masterclass, or any questions in regards to any area of my genius zones, which is feminine design mastery, emotional regulation, seamless income creation, and becoming a digital nomad. So drop them in the comments. I'm excited too. I love inner child work after healing my inner child. I always imagine. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And see, for me, I'll even put on certain things that, like, headbands and different things, or flowers in my hair, something that is very much so inner child. I like to do that during certain times. So, but yes, the Radiant Roots Masterclass, because y'all gonna have, we gonna, listen, you gotta be rooted in your beliefs, and you have to be secure going into 2024, 2025. And I know I'm talking about 2025 early, but I feel like this year is gonna go by really fast, and trust me, baby, you're gonna need to know. The link is in the bio. You can click the link in the bio, Wendy, to be able, and it's going to say Radiant Roots. It's going to give you a link. You click the link and you pay for the masterclass. You're going to get an email. What's today? Today's Wednesday. You're going to get an email on Friday, updating you on the process. And the masterclass, like I said, is going to be on March the 5th. So I know, girl, I keep saying masterclass. Workshop, Jesus. The workshop is going to be absolutely amazing. I don't even know, girl, I hope I ain't got master class in the thing. Will there be another class after this one? Yes, I have master classes often. You know how much we all love and appreciate. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. All praises to the Most High. What other questions or comments do y'all have? Because I'm probably about to, or what am I about to do? Lay down. That's what it's giving. And lay down. All right, my loves, I'm not seeing any other questions. Be sure to click the link in the bio to be able to get more information on the masterclass. You're going to click the link, purchase your ticket. You're going to get an email on Friday giving you the information. I'm so excited about it. But like I said, y'all, please don't keep burning out your feminine energy. And please don't keep thinking that, please don't think that you can just keep running around here and not do the work to reparent your inner child, because that's where your creativity is, and you just don't want to stuff her down. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing evening. I will talk to y'all soon. Congratulations. A couple people have gotten tickets to the masterclass. I see them coming in already. Congratulations. Like I said, it's 20 seats, y'all. So see y'all later. Peace.